from the Marvel Legends Series 2, Namor the Submariner. Also in this wave were the Thing, Doctor Doom, and the Human Torch. In the package, he gets a little write-up, and that's it. No powers and abilities or power grid chart yet. He comes with one accessory, his stand, that is made to look like water. Very nice. You might notice that the base here shares the mold with the Nick Fury smoke from his jetpack, but the top portion is a whole brand new sculpt. So let's see him in his base. Kind of clip him around the waist. There, you get the idea. It's a nice little base. I really don't use it because I prefer his standing. Now, Namor is one of the few Golden Age characters that Marvel has that is carried over all the way into the present day. And he is in fact the first Marvel character. What was supposed to be his first appearance became an ash can, later printed in Marvel Comics #1 in 1939. And so you might say that he is the beginning of Marvel Comics. I really love this sculpt with his earring and his arched eyebrows, a arrogant yet noble expression that he has on his face. His little ankle wings, just a little aside, his body was reused for the Spider-Man Kraven. All the paint is very nice and clean. I do like the little highlights or shading rather that they gave to his muscles. Very nicely done. Design on his vest, bracelets or gauntlets, and belt could have been a little bit more golder, so to give him that more sort of rich princely feel. But they're still pretty good. I should also mention that the comic that he comes with is Submariner number 67, which I believe is the first appearance of this type of suit, which he has returned to every once in a while. I guess it has a lot more realistic feel than the green trunks version of the character. Just having green trunks, I guess, isn't cool enough. You know, give him a nice earring and a dress him up in a nice black outfit, and he's cool. For articulation, he's got a nice ball-jointed head. His arms go all the way around, but they do not go all the way in because of both the vest and the way the shoulder is sculpted. He rotates at the bicep, has a double elbow hinge, and rotates at the wrist. All his fingers are jointed. His legs go forward and back and out and in. Rotate at the upper thigh, double knee joint, bend at the ankle, as well as pivot at the ankle, and bend at the toe. Namor's grandfather was Thakor. He was an Atlantean emperor. Now, Atlanteans are an offshoot race of humanity, genetically engineered by the Kree race, of all people, to become water breathers. So when the Kree created this offshoot race, they just left them around to their own devices, and they established not one, but several different communities all around the oceans of the world. Thakor's daughter went to investigate some surface activity and was taken aboard the icebreaker Oracle. Now, she had taken this solution that the Atlanteans had developed in order to survive on land for short periods of time, up to several weeks. She learned a lot about the surface world and fell in love with the captain of the ship, Leonard Mackenzie. And Leonard Mackenzie fell for her too, because what sailor wouldn't fall for a sexy blue chick that suddenly showed up on your vessel? It took her as his wife. Thakor, meanwhile, had sent a party out to retrieve his kidnapped daughter, and they attacked the crew and they were believed to have killed everyone, including Namor's father. Princess Fen was returned. She, however, was pregnant, and Namor was born a pink-skinned Atlantean, something that was very rare among the Atlanteans, but not unheard of. So Namor grew up as kind of an outsider, but his position as a part of the royal family sort of softened his ostracizing by the Atlantean people. During the mid-30s, late 30s, his city was damaged by Nazi weapons. He blamed all the surface world for it, until he was convinced to fight just the Axis, during which he joined the invaders, founded and joined. It became a war hero for the Allies, and he did that until he was injured and incurred amnesia when facing the proto-serpent crown wielding Destiny. No, not the Destiny from the X-Men, another Destiny, a male Destiny. He was dazed and wandered around the surface world, specifically in New York City, as what was then called a bum, basically homeless, among the homeless of New York City, where he was found and awakened by the Human Torch of the Fantastic Four. With his memory kind of having holes in it, he found Atlantis abandoned and declared war on the surface world. And the only way of dealing with the surface people was to take a military approach, conquer or be conquered by them. So he really started to soften his military approach towards dealing with the surface world. He was going to marry the Lady Dorma, another Atlantean. Unfortunately, she was kidnapped and killed by a rival for the affections of the Submariner, the Lemurian Atlantean Lyra. And so he manages to get over the grief of Lady Dorma's loss. He joins with the Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Silver Surfer in founding the Defenders. He is for a while deposed as the ruler of Atlantis, and he joins the Avengers, marries the Alpha Flight member Marina. She turns into a monster and is killed. In the early 90s, there's a there's a new take on him where he uses sunken treasure to buy a company, and he renames this company Oracle Incorporated. And the purpose of that is to develop and promote environmental causes or solutions. And during the course of that series, he loses his ankle wings for a little bit and becomes really depowered. You might know Oracle because it founded the revamped Heroes for Hire team. He eventually hands control of Oracle over to Jim Hammond, the depowered World War II Human Torch, just showing the connection between those two. Most recently, he's a member of the so-called Illuminati, and he was opposed to sending the Hulk out in space, which started off the whole Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storylines. And he briefly joins the Norman Osborn Dark X-Men, but is quickly revealed to be a double agent for the real X-Men, which he's established in an Atlantean city or base under Utopia, and is now very closely aligned with the X-Men. Before, you might consider him part of the Avengers group of characters. Now he's more like an X-Men character, or at least that's what they're trying to do with him. On a side note, he does come with a trident. Unfortunately, my trident is broken and snapped in half, and so I can't find it. I probably just threw it away since I really didn't like it anyway. Yeah, so I think that'll be it. Stay tuned for my next review, which will be on the Hulk.